Hello and welcome to Stocks Down Under. My name is Mark Kennis and today we're joined by Kobe Hannock, CEO of Weebit Nano. Good morning, Kobe.
Hi, Mark.
So today you announced what I think is the biggest deal for Weebit Nano yet, a commercial deal with
Mhm.
onsemi is basically how you pronounce it.
Yes.
While this is a spin out of the original Motorola years and years ago, people will know that name. Maybe not everyone is familiar in Australia with onsemi. Can you talk a little bit about the company, who they are, what they do, sort of for people to familiarize themselves with this new customer?
Yes, this is definitely, I think, the most important thing in Weebit's history up to now. onsemi, like you mentioned, they're a spin out from Motorola. They are a very big IDM, which means that they manufacture their own products. It's an S&P 500 company, NASDAQ 100, et cetera, et cetera. 30 billion US market cap with close to 9 billion US revenues, et cetera, et cetera. This is already, a very important customer for us. And they are a leader in the automotive space. They are a leader in power semiconductors and in many products. I mean, they have many thousands of products, etc. So this is really a very important agreement for us.
Excellent. Yeah. So I noticed in the announcement you talk about their Trio platform. So this is a new platform for them. It's recently been announced. Big ambitions in terms of revenues, where they want to get to. But can you talk a little bit about that platform and what makes it so special?
Yeah, so Trio is really, a new announcement from onsemi, but it's based on their 65 nanometer BCD technology. There have been literally billions of products already shipped on 65 nanometer BCD at onsemi. So this is not, I guess it's not a new manufacturing line, it's a new technology as far as onsemi is concerned. They upgraded it, et cetera, et cetera. We are very proud that they're integrating us into this new technology. And I think that actually shows how they look at ReRAM, that it is going to be part of their flagship technology moving forward. So for us, this is really a very exciting period and really very exciting to be part of their flagship.
Excellent. And so, as always, what we've seen with the DB High-Tech, for instance, always with the new customer, there is the sort of the working with them, the engineering side of things, integrating it into their products, manufacturing, testing, qualification, etc. Can you talk a little bit about the timeline that you're seeing? Because in the announcement you mentioned a specific work plan going forward. Would be good to get some idea around that if you can share that.
So I think, in terms of getting our technology into a fab, I think the shareholders already know there's the whole process of transferring the technology, manufacturing the first wafers, testing, qualification, et cetera, et cetera. I think the big news here is this is an IDM. This is a company that doesn't have to go and look for product companies who will come and manufacture on this manufacturing line. And, normally with foundries, their customers are always very concerned and don't really want to move forward until qualification. In this case, the product company is built in. They are the product company. So as soon as we start doing the technology transfer, we are already engaging with the product side of things and pushing them forward. And as soon as they see, the progress being made in the technology transfer, the engagement with the products will be much faster and will enable us to really move faster. So instead of doing things in more of a serial, we've always been fighting this serial aspect of first doing the technology transfer, getting the fab up to speed, qualifying, and then, just getting the product companies engaged. And, we've been working hard on trying to parallelize as much as we can in DB High-Tech. Here, there's going to be parallelization by definition since it's the same company.
Great. So, but is it fair to say that things might be moving a bit quicker compared to foundries?
That's our hope. That's our hope. That's our belief that we can do things faster. Again, I don't want to mislead anyone. Technology transfer, manufacturing the first chips, qualification, all of that That's a long process. It is what it is. We can't really shorten it. But I think that when you look at the total timeline until mass production of a first product, I think, by definition, almost it should be faster.
All right, that's good news. Um, in your announcement, you also talked a little bit about the fee structure, so license fees, NRE, royalties, etc. Can you talk a little bit about that as well in terms of so how that works in this specific case, or is it all just pretty standard?
Well, it is pretty standard. I know there's always this conflict. The shareholders obviously want to know more. These big companies, you need to understand, first of all, these big companies, the mere fact that they're allowing us to do a press release is already a big achievement. And these guys obviously did not want to do a press release like all of these big guys, and we had to push hard to do the press release. And so the technical, or I'm sorry, the financial aspects are very confidential, and I really can't go into how much is the license fee and when we're going to be getting the payments and the milestones and all of these things. I know a lot of people are asking about this and wanting to know. And unfortunately, in these kinds of deals, this is very confidential. By the way, I think that for the shareholders, if you think about it, they really don't want us to publish any of these parameters, because as soon as any of this becomes public, all of the onsemi competitors will use that as their baseline, and that's going to be where they start negotiations, and they're going to start negotiating us down from there. And we want to actually, with each deal, go up, not go down. So it really is against shareholder interest that we will publish the details of the commercial details of the agreement.
Right. Yeah, I like that part. Negotiate up from there. That's good.
Definitely, and it will be negotiating up. I can assure you,
Yeah.
it will be negotiating up.
Of course,
and not down.
full disclosure, well, I own shares in Weebit Nano as well, so I'd like to see you negotiate up from here. So I think this is another major validation for ReRAM as the next NVM going forward. Specifically for Weebit, of course, it's another major validation following DB HiTek as a company, as the unique provider outside of the big sort of foundries of ReRAM technology. How do you see this deal affecting, if there's any effect, but affecting conversations you are having with other IDMs, other product companies, other foundries? Because I can see, especially for some of the IDMs, they don't want to be left behind, right, when it comes to this new technology.
Oh, this agreement is going to have a very, very important impact on Weebit, definitely. It's been over a year that we've been negotiating with so many of these big foundries, big IDMs, trying to push them forward. And I can tell you, they've been terrified by, the risk of engaging with a younger company that has a technology that is not yet in mass production in millions and billions of chips, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what we had with onsemi. This agreement was ready for signature, a long time ago already. And they just couldn't put their hand on the paper and sign because they wanted more and more assurances and then just to get to know us better and get to the point where they feel comfortable. I mentioned to some of the shareholders a book which I highly recommend to everyone, which is called Crossing the Chasm. That's a book that talks about how, small tech companies, startups, how they start and how they grow. And I won't go into all of the process there, but it talks about the fact that once you already have a product and you're so excited and you want to rush out to the market, you find out that all of these customers are on the other side of this huge chasm. And, once you manage to get to that other side, at the beginning, they talk about this bowling alley. They talk about, everyone, no one wants to talk to you. No one wants to work with you. Everyone's afraid of you. And you finally have one of these people who realizes the huge potential of working with you and realizes that for them, this potential outweighs that big fear that they have. and you engage with one, and like in a bowling alley, that first pin knocks down two more, and then those knock down three more, etc., until you get to what we now call FOMO, and everyone wants it. So for us, onsemi is a very important name in the industry. We are extremely proud of having onsemi realize the potential of our product. And now the other IDMs, the foundries, they will suddenly realize, oh my God, these guys are now leapfrogging forward. They're going to be running forward with 3RAM, and we're still behind with flash. So I am confident that for Weebit, this agreement will be something that, shakes up the industry, shakes up the competitors of onsemi, shows them that, if they don't start moving, onsemi will be ahead of them and have a better and more advanced technology. And that's really the big value of this agreement for Weebit is, yes, there's definitely very nice dollar amounts and license fees and NREs and royalties and all of the normal standard things that you have in these kinds of agreements. But for me, the most important thing is the fact that such a big and important company, Weebit, is totally committed to make this a success. I made this commitment to onsemi. I'm doing this publicly now. We will do whatever it takes to make this project successful and really make onsemi successful with our technology.
Excellent. And so that brings me to the last question, sort of a nice segue. Can you update us on the conversations you're already having? I know you've been talking to many, many companies. Of course, like you mentioned, this might accelerate some of these conversations, but if at all possible, is there anything you can say in terms of how things are progressing with some of these companies? And of course, you've tied your own financial remuneration in this new year to your commercial success. So it would be great if you can sort of elaborate a little bit on how things are going.
Well, I've been saying for a long time, I know some people are tired of hearing it, but, we are engaged with the majority of the large foundries and IDMs, and we are working with them. And when I'm saying engaged, we actually have additional contracts already that are exchanging hands. It's that position of people are just holding back. I think I said it in previous times that we talked. We have people who are saying, we're too afraid of this big gamble of, betting so much of our future revenue on this technology that we haven't seen in mass production. We'll do another project with flash, and by then someone else will make that move, and then we'll have more confidence. So guess what? We now have someone who made that move. We have someone who was bold enough to realize the huge potential of working with Weebit and the fact that the risk isn't so high as they perceive, or I hope so. Well, at least, that's what it seems like now. They actually signed the agreement finally. And now I'm sure that in the discussions with these other guys, the agreement with onsemi will have an impact. I hope, like in that bowling alley, we'll start knocking down some of the additional pins and move forward beyond that and really into additional agreements and growing from here.
Excellent. Good stuff. I guess 2025 couldn't have started better for you, Kobi. So congratulations again. And we'll definitely keep our eyes open for additional deals in the current year.
Yeah, like you said, my equity compensation this year is 100% tied to closing these agreements. This has been, the first one that really helps push it forward. I'm definitely looking forward to more this year. It's going to be a very, very exciting year. Maybe one last comment. In the life of a company, getting the first customer is a very important milestone. But getting to the point where you start having parallel customers, where you're starting to work with multiple companies in parallel, is another very major milestone. You need to already build the infrastructure of a big company that can work on multiple projects in parallel. This is the transition year in Weebit where we are starting to set up now the infrastructure to be able to work with many projects in parallel, and it's going to be really exciting this year. So thanks.
Excellent. I can see the joy in your face, Kobe. So
Oh, yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.